The real truth is that Nnamdi Kanu was just not an innocent bystander. Um, IPOB did a whole lot of things that had real consequences. Whether he did it directly or indirectly, whether it's those that listen to his sermon or those that, carry out activities in his name, the fact is that there are significant, not just human, but economic tolls. People died. Even as we speak now, there are communities that, people can't even get to their village um, due to some of these actions. Of course, we all know about the lockdowns and what happens to those that try to defy the lockdowns. And of course, over time, you have folks like Simon Ekpa, who became a breakaway faction of IPOB and started doing their own in their own way. So what I'm trying to say in essence is I am not totally surprised that the federal government doesn't let him go. Now, I don't know that the offense that he committed is the type that merits the death sentence that the Nigerian prosecutor wanted, or that it even warrants him to be given a life sentence. But then I'm not a lawyer. I don't have all the facts of the case. Even if I do, I don't know how the law applies in that one. But that's just one side of the story. We have to go back to the issue of justice and even how this IPOB thing started. And to their credit, when IPOB started, it wasn't violent, you know. It was just a simple agitation because Kanu, just like many Igbos, they don't like, the place of the Igbo man in the Nigerian society. So that was the whole point of the agitation. They were peaceful, as many others were. I mean, he may be in UK, he has his own way of delivering his messages, but it wasn't violent. But then, just like the federal government of Nigeria treats everything about the South is different, they came down with high-handedness, went down, started arresting people who were just peacefully demonstrating. Now, this time, IPOB didn't even have guns and all those kind of stuff. So if IPOB later became what they labeled them as a terrorist organization, it was the making of the federal government of Nigeria. Because at the time, they were arresting IPOB and doing all those kind of stuff. You have the Niger Delta militants. You have people like Asari Dokubo. You have people like a government Tompolo. They were destroying oil installation and doing all those things. But what did the federal government of Nigeria do? They found a way to negotiate with them. And at the end of the day, they gave billions of contracts to these guys. We just witnessed when Tompolo gave, I believe it was like almost 14 billion naira to one campaign they were doing in there. How did he make all those money? From all those federal government contracts. Okay, so you have in one hand a group that will protest, the federal government will do everything to make sure that they calm them down. Then you have another one that they're just telling you that we don't like the way we're treated in this country, and you have to calm down and launch a military operation, you call whatever you call it, and started killing people. And people who were now protesting normally, just peacefully, you basically radicalize them. So that's what they did. And then on the other hand, in the Yoruba land, you have a Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho is there. The federal government never brought any charges, at least that I know. Even if they did, this guy is free, walking around. And then the most egregious of them is the fact that you have known convicted terrorists, okay, who are killing, maiming, and sending millions of people to ID camps. The federal government of Nigeria found it necessary to go and negotiate with these people, actually engage in what they call rehabilitation. Not only that they are brought into the society, they are settled, some of them are even sent somewhere to get training and all those kind of stuff. So on the one hand, you're doing all these things to Igbos who are just agitating to have a fair share of the country. But for you, it's okay for other people to do all those things, but we can't even get up and say that we don't like what is going on in this country. So this is a pattern. This is a consistent pattern where it's almost like in Nigeria there is a law for the Igbos, and then there is